Listen up, Friar Faithful. 97.3 The Fans Padres Roundtable is on the air.
Unbelievable!
It's time to discuss everything going on with the Padres. The 97.3 The Fan crew is here for the most in-depth discussion on the Friars in our weekly Padres Roundtable, delivered by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. And now, here's your host, Ben Higgins.
Our baseball team might not be at the top of their game, but I am pleased to report that I was just able to eat 2 slices of Roundtable Pizza in 1 minute and 45 seconds to get ready for a commercial-free hour of Padres talk. Welcome in to our Padres Roundtable. We got the 97.3, the fan crew back again, all the way along the line. Matt Scraby, good morning.
Hello.
Stephen Woods, good to see you again.
Hi, Benny.
Paul Randall, spot in the middle.
Hello.
Next to Braden Soprano.
What's up?
And Chris Ello back. Hello, Chris.
Morning.
Well, let's review this past week. I believe we talked about our predictions for how the Padres would do against the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. We had the optimists who said 5-1, and we had the pessimists who said 4-2 last week.
I think I took 500.
Did you?
I said I would be so happy with 500.
You don't count.
You were still well
Man.
off because they
I
went,
got
of
the
course,
numbers right.
1-5 this past week. So, Chris, why didn't any of us see this coming, and what lessons did we learn this past week about the San Diego Padres, if any?
Yeah, I just listening to the open of Jesse Agler saying, unbelievable. I mean, this is no way we could expect it. But, I was looking at this morning, Ben, as I do sometimes. As it stands, if you look at the standings right now in Major League Baseball, the Padres have lost exactly 1 series at home this year to a team that currently has a losing record. That just happened this week. So I don't know, how you could see this coming. I think it's pretty obvious that the starting pitching is broke and they need to get it fixed. And the sooner, the better. And honestly, good news is not exactly around the corner. Nick Pavetta's pitching Friday night at Coors Field. He has a career ERA of 17.36 at Coors Field. Saturday,
That's nice.
It's the TBA. And Sunday, it's Dylan Cease, who's yet to win a game on the road. So starting pitching needs to get fixed, and those aren't good numbers coming up.
Braden, though, this was a team that made its hay on starting and bullpen pitching, run prevention for the first 4.5+ months of the season. Why does it need to be fixed all of a sudden?
I don't know why it needs to be fixed. I mean, Mike Schultz said yesterday, and a lot of his answers are usually after losses or head scratching, but I thought his answers yesterday were on point on the, being able to locate in, which they haven't been able to do, and limiting the walks, which they haven't been able to do. I mean, the walks, I think there's a good talking point on the walks that have been allowed by starting pitching that have led to ultimately big blow-up innings for the starting staff. But on top of that, high pitch counts and having like Nestor Cortez with 27 pitches in the first inning or whatever it was yesterday, and Yu Darvish getting up there in pitch count early. They're falling behind in counts. They're not locating pitches, and all of a sudden there's multiple guys on base, high stress level pitching where none of the starters have been able to get into a groove, and they've had that one big blow up inning. So, location's definitely a problem. Command seems to be a little bit of a problem, but as Chris mentioned, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. And this is where, you rely on a guy like Ruben Niebla that we all talk about being the great pitching coach that he is. This is a very difficult task for him to do because there are no more trade deadlines. There's nobody out there that's going to be better than what you currently have. This is your pitching staff. You need to be able to get them going.
Paulie, what about you? Should we have seen any of this coming? Is this completely out of left field, to use a baseball metaphor?
Yeah, I think we probably should have saw it coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were flying really high with a really, really good pitching staff, both starting and most importantly, the bullpen. And there was always the concern, at least in the back of my mind, was, overuse. How do you get to October as healthy as you can be? The concerns have really never gone away as far as, like we talked, it was either last week or the week before that. What concerns you the most? And for me, it was the pitching. keep using the Jekyll and Hyde. Haven't seen a lot of Jekyll. It's right now. I have question marks about pretty much every single pitcher that gets the ball to start a game for the Padres, including Nick Pivetta, who's been by far the best and the most consistent. He didn't have a great outing last time around. I'm pretty worried about the pitching staff right now.
Can I make it an admission? I always thought Jekyll sounded scarier than Hyde.
That's a funny one.
I thought Dr. Jekyll
Hyde
was the evil one.
Yeah, I wonder how many people actually know
that.
that. I wonder how many people, if you pinned them down, could name who the evil one is.
Yeah, but Jekyll is actually the good one, and Hyde is the evil one.
Great point, Ben.
I think Paul makes a good point. But Woods, if we saw anything coming, we kept saying the bullpen's going to die if the starting pitching doesn't go longer. The bullpen hasn't died. I mean, yes, you've asked more of your back end guys than you wanted to recently, but that's not why the Padres are losing games.
I wasn't expecting to see a lot of Kyle Hart in September.
Correct.
In meaningful games.
Yeah,
I mean, it got to a point not that long ago where I'm like, probably done seeing him in a Padres uniform for this year.
But you felt like the bottom would drop out because you can't keep going to the bullpen after the starter gives up 1 or 2 runs in 4 innings. But it's the starting pitching that looks like they're the ones that have been overused all year long when they've been, if anything, underused all year long.
Well, man, listen, if I'm the offensive coordinator of any team going up against the San Diego Padres and I go to meet with my hitters in my weekly Woodsy Talks Ball or my daily Woodsy Talks Ball with my hitters meeting, the whole message is go out and attack their starters. You don't want to get to Morahone. You don't want to get to Mason Miller. Go attack these guys. Get to them early. They will make mistakes. And here are the mistakes they made right here on film. This guy will leave it here. This guy will miss here. This guy, you can spit on this. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You guys are coming out and attacking our starting pitchers, and we have to find a way to counter. It's a whole game of adjustments.
It's a good point, Woods, and it's not something I had really thought about, but when you watch a game like the one against Yu Darvish or against Nestor Cortez, other teams aren't shortening up with 2 strikes.
No.
They're just waiting for that mistake, and it may be an 0-2 mistake, as happened with Darvish. A couple of times. They're not going, okay, we better just put the ball in play. They're just like, swing out of your shoes, because if they miss, they're going to miss right over the middle, and you can hit a home run. And I agree. There's a strategy against the Padres starting pitching right now.
It's go out and swing. Go out. Do not wait don't wait. You can actually, and like you said, you can get in pitchers counts and still have success against the San Diego Padres, and that's a problem.
As we talked about, you've also seen them give up early home runs, and all of a sudden they don't want to give up another one, so they start nibbling and walking guys, which then compounds the problem. Matt Scraby?
Yeah, Chris and I talked about this last night, and I felt like this stat was crazy to me when I saw it. But in the last 14 games, Padres pitching has given up the 4th most home runs in baseball, 23. And their neighbors in that department are the Rockies, Marlins, Twins, Nationals, Orioles, and the Braves. So you're pitching right now like a losing team.
Oh, yeah.
And the 3-run homer, I gave Chris a lot of, I teased them a lot earlier in the year, but the 3-run homer against the Padres is starting to kill them.
It's the death knell.
It is.
Yep.
Once you hit that 3-run homer, it's
church.
Yeah, it's not done, but it's close to done.
We are off and running in our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented commercial-free by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty. And despite losing 8 out of 10, Padres really have been fortunate that very few teams have taken major advantage by pulling closer to them or even expanding their lead, as the Padres remain in the thick of the NL West race, 2.5 games behind the Dodgers, still a game ahead of the Mets for the second wild card spot, 5 games ahead of the Giants, and 6 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds. But I've seen, of course, Padres fans on social media saying this team is going to miss the playoffs. This team is collapsing. They're not going to make it. So I've got a little test of confidence here, and I talked about it this morning. We'll get you just quick answer for everybody. All right, here's your hypothetical scenario. If the Padres make the playoffs, you receive $50,000. But if they miss the playoffs, you have to get an LA Dodgers logo tattooed on your face. That's it. If they miss the playoffs, if you accept the deal, you get no money, LA Dodgers tattoo on your face if they miss the playoffs. Does anyone not take the deal? Are you still confident in the Padres enough that you would take maybe the free money, but risk the tattoo on your face?
Yes, I'd risk the tattoo.
You're risking the tattoo. I was
Yeah.
thinking you'd be the one who might not risk the tattoo.
No, I'll risk the tattoo. I think they're still going to make the playoffs. I mean, in a week, they could have won a bunch of games, and we're all forgetting about this conversation right now. So I don't think they're out.
Which they could literally do next week.
Yeah.
Woods, you're risking the tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, if you said win a playoff game, I'm not taking that bet. I'm not. I'll just say I'll leave the 50 on the table. I would right now as it stands. I do believe we'll make the playoffs. I do. I find it that's stupid to say. I'm not going to say it. 97.8% chance to make the playoffs right now. That's a pretty good number.
Better than 97.3%.
Better than 97.3. I'm going to take it, Benny. But if you said, all right, same deal applies, but they have to win a playoff game, I'm not saying. I'll say I'll walk away.
It's a good point because right now you're trending toward either a game in Chicago against the Cubs. They've been very good at home, or in LA against the Dodgers in a wild card series. Neither options you really want to look for. Paulie, you taking the bet?
Yeah, I kind of liked what Woods said, though. I don't know that I have much confidence really at all
Right.
in them winning a playoff game, at least as of right now. I would take the bet. I don't know like how much is trolly online dooming versus how many people seriously think the Padres will miss the playoffs. I haven't really viewed it over the last, call it a week. I haven't really viewed it as people I know, at least, or myself, that think the team is not going to make the playoffs.
If you say it to make yourself feel better,
I suppose.
I think the
Is that
math.
what it is?
I think this team is going to make the playoffs. Like it would. I mean, we've seen horrible collapses.
2021.
I really were they this much of a lock?
No, they were not 98%.
I don't think they were either.
No, not even.
So I think they're going to make the playoffs, but you can still like to say, oh well, the other teams in the division or in the National League, they've all been losing too, so it's fine. We haven't lost any ground. I don't care about that. I care about how the team is playing, and the team has been playing like crap.
But
that's my concern. Not missing the playoffs, just getting there and getting bodied in 2 straight games.
But when you're given gifts like this, and that's what this is. The Dodgers playing this poorly since July 4th. They're like well under 500 since July 4th. They've been giving you gifts. We haven't accepted the gifts yet. We just haven't accepted the gifts, and you can't be sure that that's going to continue. So there's some missed opportunities, certainly, but it has breathed life into you. You hear about people, that are dead for 2 minutes. They come back to life. This is a gift. The Padres have to start taking advantage of the fact, and the Dodgers could win out. They could win out. They absolutely could. I don't think they will, but you've been given a gift. You have to take advantage of it. It does matter to me because after that demoralizing, humiliating loss yesterday, a guy at the baseball practice is like, Dodgers lost, and I immediately felt better. I'm like, all right, well, we're back to, kind of square one again. I immediately felt better.
Misery loves company.
Correct.
Of course. Chris, well, are you taking the bet? And secondly, you've railed against a lot of the dooming lately. Do you feel like it's sincere? Like people really don't think the Padres are going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the people that really aren't. I'm not going to go there. I'll take the bet because I've always wanted to look like Post Malone. So I'm willing.
We can make that happen without a bet.
I'm willing to take a shot, and you guys are surprised that I even know who that
Jelly
is.
roll.
I think
Hello roll.
the dooming is a
Hello
little. The dooming is a
sounds like
little
a
silly
sushi
right now.
roll,
It's a little silly right now.
It's just a defense
you have to
mechanism.
look at things
100%
realistically.
right.
Yeah.
Woods.
That's it.
Even
It's-
after
it's
what they've
coping.
done, they'd have to blow right now a 5-game lead in 22 games. It's not happening. They're going to be fine. This team's too good to even consider sliding back to being in danger. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they're going to hold off the Mets. The Mets have a brutal schedule the rest of the way, even though that does include the Padres going there. I get it. Secondly, as long as you get into the playoffs, this whole notion that anything can happen is just too documented to not be true.
Yeah.
And the 2017 Dodgers are the best example I can think of right now. They had an 11-game losing streak in September and ended up in the World Series that year. So this is a lousy stretch of baseball, but to me, it does not change my personal goals, and I don't think it should change this team's goals.
Braden, are you taking the bet? And you were nodding along when Wood said it was a defense mechanism for fans. You kind of agree that you can't hurt me as long as I lower my expectations to zero. You can't hurt me at all.
The thing was like all of this that we've been discussing was just rampant in the YouTube chat yesterday during our show.
Yeah, ours too.
I mean, people were just ready to stop watching. And to my reaction was, well, if you know they're not going to make the playoffs, or you know they're not going to win in the playoffs, you don't need to watch anymore. You already know the results. Like, why even? I mean, why put yourself through the misery if you already know what the outcome's going to be? But they won't do that because they know secretly that they're Padres. They know.
I got a guy that
Padres
DMs me every day, every single day. He DMs me. That's it. I'm done watching, and I'm like, you said that yesterday.
Yeah.
And the day before that. I understand it too, the psychology of it.
I get it. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like a coping mechanism of, you're upset and it's not great. And you just think of the worst possible outcome. Sure. I don't think anybody that's actually tweeting that or putting it in the comments actually believes it.
Maybe like one or two
Because
people.
if they did, they would have moved on to another sport right now. Yeah. Because that when I was a kid and that was the case and the Padres were out of it or whatever, you're like, all right, it's football time. I don't need to watch these guys anymore. Yep. But that's not the case. They still want to watch. They still know this team can make the playoffs. They just are starting to panic. And I think a lot of it is they're confusing. Well, I just think people in general really want the division. And so when they see that starting to slip away, it's starting to be like, oh, it's just going to be catastrophically awful. But the reality is you make the playoffs, everything's you have a chance, right? I mean, I think a lot of people just want the division and the fact that might be slipping away, even though it's not, because the Dodgers are physically handing you the division. It's like, almost like they don't want it. Yeah. Like, here, take it. We don't want it anymore. You take the division. So from all of that, I think it's just emotionally watching some of these games. It's later in the season. Obviously, you feel that the games mean more. You're trying to track down LA. You're trying to get that 4 seed, and it's going to start, getting a little bit more important every single game. And when you're not playing good baseball, you start to think about bad things that could potentially happen to the Padres in the playoffs, and you start thinking about all the bad things that have happened to San Diego sports in the postseason. Yeah. And I understand that. All the Charger disappointments, all the Padre disappointments for certain years. So I get it, but at the same time, like you've said, Ben, we don't need to be having a conversation of if they make the playoffs. The conversation needs to be about, you know what? We got to fix a lot of things here in the next 3 weeks in order to win in the playoffs.
I don't think anything is going to match the disappointment of last year's 2 games against the Dodgers. No. They're never going to be in a point this year where you feel like they're the favorites. And they got to at 2-1 against the Dodgers with who was left. You finally had that moment where you thought, I think my San Diego Padres are actually the favorites. And everyone around the country kind of agreed to win the World Series, and they didn't. They're not getting to that point this year. If they win it, it'll come as a mild or at least moderate surprise to everyone at this point. Correct?
No one's be more the 23 Diamondbacks than
a little closer to this. I'm not quite that unlikely, but
they've already won more games now than the 2023 Diamondbacks
almost
won.
84, I think. Yeah.
And then
I think we're tossing a little bit too much dirt on top of the grave at the moment. I mean, you don't think they're going to win a playoff game. All right. Well, I'm still going to bet on either Michael King or Nick Pivetta to win a game at Wrigley Field. I mean, I think this team is darn good, and all year they've been darn good. And for 130 games, Mike Schilt was pushing all the right buttons. The last 10 games, he doesn't have a clue, apparently. For 130 games, the lineup was fine and in first place. Now the lineup needs to be completely revamped. It's all just untrue. It just is. 8 out of 10 is a lousy stretch of ball, but they won 5 in a row right before that. They could easily win 5 or 6 in a row right after this and make all of this discussion pretty much a moot point, frankly.
You know who else is discussing this? Philadelphia and Chicago and LA and most of the New York Mets. I mean, I think the other thing too is we're so laser focused on the Padres that you forget about the rest of the country and their teams and everything like that. I had a friend text me about, he said he felt better because he went and started looking at Dodger message boards and all that crazy stuff.
Oh,
they want to just get rid of everybody.
They're losing.
I mean, they're losing their mind too, and it's everybody right
Every
now.
Playoff team right now is 2 and done. It's going to be the shortest postseason.
Nobody's winning a playoff.
Be done by October 1st, and everybody's going to be
Except
out after losing their first 2 games. It's our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented commercial-free by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. Well, speaking of the playoffs and the Dodgers, here's another scenario for you. If the playoff run does inevitably have to hit the Dodgers at some point, what do you think the best series would be for the Padres to meet the Dodgers? We've seen it, the best of 5 a couple of times now. Would you rather see them in a best of 7, or is a best of 3 your better shot to take down the Dodgers in a shorter series? Woods, do you have a preference? Like, if the Padres play the Dodgers, the length of the series you'd like to see it go?
I think 3.
3?
Yeah,
Shorter the better?
I really do. I think shorter the better. I think, look, they've got 5 really good arms that they can throw to start, and then you got to imagine those other 2 will be able to come in and relieve if they're so inclined. And we know how egos and things work. I just feel also it's just less excruciating.
I do think if you could arrange it where the Padres were the home team, but that doesn't seem possible. That would mean the Dodgers would have to drop to 6. So if you were playing a 3, it's in LA. I don't think
I would have
that's
said 5 just to guarantee a home game.
You're getting at least 2 of them at home. 5's not a bad length, actually, for a series against the Dodgers. Of course, Braden, a 7-game series would only happen in the National League Championship Series, which would be, at least they've gotten that far.
Right. Well, I mean, I think when you play good teams and teams that are, got a lot of pitching, you want to play them in the least amount of games as possible. Yeah. So to me, it'd be 3 games. And as you said, like in an ideal world, a 3-game series against the Dodgers at Petco Park would be my first option, which is obviously probably not going to happen. But other than that, I mean, even if you only go to LA for 3 games, you go up there and win 2 games, despite everything that has happened all year against them. You get them twice, they're done. Don't have to worry about them anymore. And you're moving on to Petco Park or wherever it may be for a divisional series. The divisional series works out too with like the way pitching is lined up with the extra off day in the National League too. You only need 3 starters in the divisional series in the National League, like the American League got last year. So I think for any team that you think would be a concern to play, you want to play them in the least amount of games possible.
Is there any team that you feel like you aren't concerned to play right now in the postseason if you're the Padres?
Today, no.
Not really.
Today, no.
Yeah.
Nothing good can happen.
I would probably say I'd be more terrified about playing the Rockies than playing the Cubs. I'd probably say that.
Which is also why, based on the fact that you've never won at Coors Field, your record is abysmal at Coors Field. But it is. It's true. I mean,
they won 21-0 there this year.
They did. But you traditionally over history, it is a house of horrors. Your pitching is already just flustered and not good.
Problems with the long ball.
That's why. That's why
Colorado.
This Orioles series and that Twins series was so important to be able to handle business against Zebby Matthews and who was the kid that started for the Orioles the other day? That
Povich.
The first one. No, Radish.
Radish.
It looked like BP out there. It really did, and they couldn't get to him, and so. That's why getting a couple of those under your belt, knowing you got to go into that hellhole, makes all the difference. And you didn't do it, and your back's up against the wall.
Let me get Chris and Matt into this 3-5-7 conversation. Chris, you came out of the bullpen a few times. Is there not an argument to be made that when the bullpen is your strength, the longer the series is, the more that strength is magnified?
They're seeing you more times. Like they're getting way more looks at you.
But if you're better than their bullpen, you're also seeing you have an advantage over them.
But you're going against their Glasnow, Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Emmett Sheehan, even. Like, you're going against...
benefits the starters more than benefits.
Yeah, you're going...
What do you think, Chris?
I like 7 games because then I know I've got that far, and I would have my confidence back. I'm pretty sure at that point, if I got to 7. And I just believe that we can wear them down in a 7-game series in the bullpen. They look at our guys. We look at their guys too. It goes both ways. Dave Roberts is too impatient to stay with the advantage that he has, which is his starters.
It'll be
he can't wait to get them out. And I know the Dodgers bullpen's getting healthy, but I think our bullpen takes it and says, look, they whipped us last year. We got to whip them this time. So
it's not like they've been good against anybody else, really.
Right.
They've only been good against the Padres.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's an advantage to exploit.
I think it is, but 7. Look, I'm as worried as you guys are. The Phillies can beat us. and certainly the Cubs can. And I still am not scared of the Brewers, but I probably should be because I just am not as familiar with them. We'll see them at the end of the season, but I'm more worried about the Padres right now, like you guys are, than anyone else out there.
I would say like the Phillies, Matt, if you played them with no Wheeler, Nola got beat up around, I'd want as many games as possible so their starting pitching would be kind of nullified in that series if you're going against the Phillies. But what about the
Kyle
Dodgers?
Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner? I mean,
just make sure Darvish doesn't pitch.
Pick your poison.
Take him out. Take him out.
Yeah, but if you had to, in a 3-game series and you had to face, Sanchez right off the bat and, Suarez, and it's like and they don't have to go to their 3rd and 4th starter at that point. That might be to their advantage.
Walker Buehler could be up against you.
Exactly.
Padres took 2 out of 3 against those guys.
Yep.
Against their top 3 here.
I would say I want 7 games because there's more margin for error. In the 3 games, you can't make any mistakes. In the 5 games, you can make a couple, but you can't make a lot. And then the 7 games, it could go both ways.
A war of attrition.
You can either go down 4-0 easy, or you can make some mistakes, come back the next day, and win the game. So I want more chances. So I'll take the 7 game.
The Dodgers aren't punting any of the games in a 3-game series, but they'll probably punt 2 of them in a 7-game series.
I was thinking,
You really only got to win 2.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are worried about the Otani, Glasnow, Kike Hernandez rotation that they're going to use.
regardless of opponent, if the Padres are in a 3-game wild card playoff series, are we seeing a bullpen game?
Yes,
I think so.
I think so. Let's
Maybe
go.
call it an opener, and then basically something other than the traditional 4, 5, 6 innings from a
You
starter.
guys are crazy, man. I'm going with you, Darvish, against the Dodgers, and I'm taking my chances every time in a postseason game.
Yep.
And I got Michael King, and I got Pavetta, and I feel really
every
Nice.
game in the series.
I feel good in those 3 guys. I think that they can win, and if they can't, then they don't
I
deserve
don't know if you can feel
to get
good about
anything
Michael
done.
King
That's
until
what I
he
was
shows
just
up.
about to say. I keep getting messages about, Michael King's about to come back. Michael King hasn't been pitching all season.
Which means he's fresh.
But the last time he pitched, he ended up back on the IL because his knee was sore.
Which means he's due.
I'll go back to what I said this week, what I said back in June. If Michael King doesn't come back and pitch remotely like Michael King, the Padres are still cooked as they've always been.
Yep.
I think all of these conversations are kind of with the hopeful thought that Michael King is going to be back. He's going to hopefully get about 4 regular season starts, and at the end of them will look mostly like Michael King.
That's our hope.
And if it doesn't, then you are facing a really, really uphill climb in the playoffs.
Well, and look, man, and it's so the season can end on a dime. It can stop on a dime. Jason Adams' season is over, and you also have to get through that hoping nobody else blows a quad, nobody else twists a knee. You know what I mean? It's a lot to.
Can you win the World Series with 2 starting pitchers? Yes, the Dodgers did it last year. You could make the argument that the Padres are set up like the Dodgers without Michael King to do that. It's not a great formula. It worked
Padres
last
had the
year.
division lead in late August without Michael King pretty much for most of the year. Like, they can win games if you can get good Darvish going, and then you go, Pavetta, Darvish, bullpen game. Like, that team can win a series. Not the way they're playing right now, but it's Michael King's a huge question mark.
All right, let's focus more on starting pitching. Should the Padres be considering other starting pitching options, like diving down into the minor leagues for Omar Cruz or Matt Waldron or Randy Vasquez, someone else who has not currently been taking turns in their rotation? And if so, Braden, whose spot are they taking at this point? Because there's more than one starter who is struggling right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing Vasquez. The guy's been putting up the results. Even though it's frustrating for us to watch, that we've said on the roundtable multiple times. He has proven that he can get the job done, and the ball doesn't leave the yard too much. At least the ball's in play and gives your defense an opportunity. I don't know if they're like putting him down there to have him, because they do with a 6-man rotation, right, in AAA or whatever because they got 6 games per series. And I don't know how many days he's going in a row. Maybe they're trying to have him rest up a little bit, and because this is the most innings he's ever thrown in a year. But I'd like to see Randy Vasquez back up here. I think you have a better option with Randy Vasquez making a start or coming in after an opener like they did in LA. I didn't mind that strategy too much, but you can't. I don't know how many more times you could roll Nestor Cortez out there for him to get ambushed at the plate. I don't know how many times you can roll J.P. Sears out there for him to get ambushed at the plate. Those are the couple of guys that I think you would have to replace Randy Vasquez with. I know you get what you get with Dylan Cease. I mean, you got to have him pitch. Yu Darvish has to pitch. Nick Pavetta's got to pitch. But I wouldn't mind seeing Vasquez 1 or 2 more times before the season ends.
Paul, are you bringing back Randy Vasquez at this point?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't really know who
dropping
between Cortez or Sears. I mean, those are the 2 guys, and kind of over both of them right now. To be honest, I'm kind of over watching both of them. I haven't seen a whole lot that gives me a ton of confidence as we get closer to the playoffs. Randy Vasquez, like we just mentioned, not the most aesthetically pleasing performances sometimes, but that doesn't mean that the results weren't there. He keeps you in every single ball game, it seems like, and that is what I want and expect out of my 4 and 5 spots, keeping you in ball games, consistent, not ace stuff, but consistent enough to keep you in every single ball game that they get the ball. And right now we're not getting that out of our 4 or our 5 spots.
It's funny, Woods, because I think we all kind of feel, yeah, let's bring Randy Vasquez up. The reason why he probably isn't pitching is he wasn't going deep enough and he walked too many guys.
They'll fit right in.
Which is exactly what the problem is, and yet he's also the solution.
You also picked up 2 shiny new toys that you wanted to see what you got in Sears and Nestor. And I think that's only that's natural for a human. Like AJ goes out and gets these pieces. You want to see what you got. But I don't know that they're better than what Randy Vasquez gave you.
Well,
Randy's a battler, man. He competes. He competes, and not to say those other guys don't, but they call him Strandy Vasquez for a reason. It's dicey. It's dicey, but you got to get through these last 22 games. You got to figure out a way to win more than you lose. You're going to need contributions from, everybody. And he seems like a guy that, obviously can do it. He's a guy that had Mike Schilt's trust at the beginning of the year a lot, right? Remember in when we went to the ballpark for Fan Fest, and I mean we were talking about some of the big names. He's like, wait, I'm gonna tell you about Randy Vasquez. He made, and he was
20 some odd
super
starts,
high on him, and for whatever reason that dissipated, and because again, if he was pitching really well, he'd still be up. You don't send guys that are pitching great down to the minor leagues unless they're hurt or whatever, but I think it's he's there. He's throwing okay. Bring him back. He can't do worse than what I saw yesterday.
I mean, it feels like we saw, Chris, 5 or 6 Randy Vasquez starts of 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Yep.
Didn't get the win, got a no decision. But the Padres went on and won the game.
Yep.
That wasn't good enough then. Feels more than good enough now. Like I would sign up for that tomorrow if I could get 4 innings, 1 run from any starting pitcher.
I said it right after the game yesterday. I think very early in our post game, I told Scraby, I go, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really kind of want to see Randy Vasquez back. So apparently I have some support there. I'll just stir the pot a little bit. The 2 guys that I'd really like to see up right now pitching are Kolek and Ryan Bergert, but we had to trade both of those guys to get a guy that is honestly no better than Diaz at the moment. He's a better I take it back. He's throwing to second better than Diaz, but Diaz's bat has actually woken up a little bit. I didn't like that trade then. I don't like it now.
Well, you have anticipated the next question
no,
in the roundtable. That's okay. It's good transition. I love a good segue. Now that we've had a month to see all the newcomers and evaluate the trades a little bit, are there any trades that you would undo that AJ made at the deadline? Chris, we know your answer already.
Well, I wouldn't I just say I didn't like that trade, but they did it, and so I wouldn't undo it, right? I mean, I like what AJ did at the deadline. I'm not going to go back on that. Obviously, Nestor Cortez at the moment. But, I would say 12 days ago when he hit the Dodgers for 6 innings, we thought that was a steal.
It'd be crazy.
So I can't go back on
You wouldn't undo the Nestor Cortez trade. You gave up Brandon Lockridge, who wasn't even on your team.
You got a great prospect.
You got a great prospect and Nestor Cortez. Even if Cortez, you could DFA him right now, and that's still probably a pretty good trade for the San Diego Padres. So wouldn't undo that one. I don't know. I think we all said that the day the trade happened, seemed like a lot to give up for a backup catcher in Freddie Fermin. And then Fermin shows up, and he is on fire for the first 10 days in a Padres uniform. And we remember, catchers actually can produce at the plate, look pretty good. As Chris said, throwing out some runners. But that price tag is already starting to come home to roost for the Padres? Because they could use either or both of those guys right now for their rotation.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't like. I mean, everybody with their hindsight, machine turned on. I can't live in that headspace. I really can't, because you'll make yourself crazy, especially if you're a Padres fan. You'll make yourself insane. It's onward and upward. And don't forget how many, not how many, everyone was pissing and moaning about Martin Maldonado every single day. Every day. Not some days. Every day until that man was gone. You pissed about him and you moaned about him. Every day.
He is back.
He is back. You know what I'm saying? In the lineup, getting ABs, and I appreciate what he did with the pitching staff. I know Mike Schilt did too. I know it was hard for Schilt to let him go. We wanted a catcher with better production. We have a catcher with better production. I miss Ryan Bergert too. I don't really miss Stephen Kolek for some reason. He'd be fine now, but you can't undo it. So I'm not even going to put myself through it. I like Freddie. I think we overused him a ton when he got here. And, I think given a couple of days off and a little bit more familiarity with the pitching staff, I think he's going to be fine. You got him for multiple years. He's 30. Hopefully Ethan Salas is around the corner in a couple of years, but I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to drive myself nuts.
Maddie, what about you? In hindsight, trade deadline moves?
No, I'm not going to take any trades back. I never understood the Nestor Cortez one, but you're right. They gave up Brandon Lockridge. So what is, I'm not going to go back and be like, he should have never traded for Nestor Cortez. But I can't believe, I'm with you, I can't believe all the people that are telling me, oh man, AJ made such a big mistake by bringing in Freddie Fermin. People do forget how angry they were at the catcher position for most of the season. And the catcher position, to me, has always been a position where just play good defense and get some hits every once in a while. Maybe Fermin and Diaz need to, switch it up a little bit more, because Fermin was being overused. But Fermin's, I like the guy. I think that he can help the Padres, and he's going to be that bridge towards Ethan Salas. So I'm fine with that. I looked up, Stephen Kolek just made a start for the Royals on August 30th, 6 innings, 1 run. So
yeah, it happens, man.
But Stephen Kolek was also a Rule 5 pick. So you're really not giving up any value because you picked up a Rule 5 guy and turned him into a starting catcher.
Yeah, and Bergert, he's good, and he was good when he was here, and he's probably going to be good in their rotation, as like 4/5 of their rotation are old Padres. But I like Freddie too. I just think it is what it is at this point. I can't, they can't undo it. I don't even know if AJ Preller would.
Here's one, Braden, that actually even looks better. I thought perhaps the acquisition of Mason Miller was overkill, especially for the price tag of Leonidas DeVries. But the injury to Jason Adams certainly makes that trade look a little more, foresight on the part of AJ Preller, knowing that bullpen, if they didn't have Miller and Adam now, you all of a sudden have a big problem. But you can get through it now because of Mason Miller.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't do any of those trades like Wood said. It's hindsight. First of all, people like to complain to us all the time about all these moves, and you're not holding the team accountable by not complaining about it. No, that's called being a windsock, dude. You can't just keep blowing with the wind every single time. I'm going to stick to my guns and stick to my opinions. And at the time, I didn't really like the Freddie Fermin trade because it seemed like a lot to give up. But at the same time, everybody was praising the guy for the first 10 days.
Of course.
You can't say they won the trade and then 10 days later just be like, oh, yeah, now they lost it. And then when Freddie Fermin might come back and go on a tear again and be like, oh, yeah, we've won the trade, I'm going to go insane, dude. Listen to you guys talk about it.
Well, and it's also like it's a lack of execution from the starting pitching, right? Yeah. That's when you're like, oh, well, Yu Darvish, who's forgotten how to throw strikes, and Dylan Cease, who has the best stuff, top 5 stuff in the league and can't throw strikes. How's that Freddie Fermin and Ryan Burke?
Right.
That has nothing to do with it.
Too, it's like the top end of the rotation is not getting the job done. So therefore, Bergert and Kolek, who at the beginning of the year, everybody said we were doomed if we started both of those guys in the rotation.
Correct.
We're going to save our ass.
Right.
I mean, even though they're pitching well with Kansas City, it's a different environment. You can't assume that those guys here right now would be doing exactly what they're doing in Kansas City.
You can't assume that about any player.
Right.
Ever,
you can't assume that. So, I mean, what if those guys were on the team and you didn't make the trade, and they're
And you
pitching
needed a catcher.
and they're pitching like these guys like Darvish, and you're watching Martin Maldonado go up there and strike out every time, people would also be losing their mind. You get into this game of what ifs, and we should have done. It goes nowhere. It's not productive, and all you're going to do is get yourself angry and upset for no reason.
By the way, Kansas City, 2.5 games behind the team they're trying to chase down that continues to lose every day, and they refuse to accept the gifts they're being given by the Seattle Mariners every day. The
same
Kansas
team.
City Royals are the Padres in
That's
the American
right.
League right now. It's it's scary how many teams do not want to win now that we've gotten to September. We got about 15, 20 minutes left in our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented commercial-free by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. And it is time for our 7th inning stretch. But instead of singing Take Me Out of the Ball Game, we go off topic a little bit. And today's question, and you get to choose kind of this one or go with both.
What inspired you for this one, by the way?
Yeah, what did inspire you for this?
Did you have to do this?
He always does.
I was sweeping the floor as I was making up roundtable questions.
All right.
All right. I
like
want to know
it.
what these guys think. What's your either favorite or least favorite, or both, household chore to accomplish? What's
My wife will disagree, but I actually like washing the dishes. And unlike her, I don't make a big production out of it when I do it. I just do it silently. I just do it. They're in the sink. I wash them. I put them in the dishwasher, or I hand wash them and I put them away. I don't have to announce to everyone that I did it, but I actually don't mind doing it. I like washing dishes. One of my first jobs was a dishwasher, and I had the time of my life. I listened to my music,
Yeah, you put music.
and I just
Heavy
plowed
duty.
through it,
Yeah, it's
man.
great.
And I don't mind taking out the trash. I don't really do. I don't, and nothing to do with laundry, because when my wife was gone, I had to do all the laundry for me and the kids, folding it, and I hate it more than anything.
so? I actually like emptying the dishwasher when they're still kind of hot, almost so hot that you get burned, and you take the silverware and you put them in their little
It's a weird sensation.
their
for
little
you,
trays and match them up. Okay,
Yeah.
knives here, forks here, and then the glassware goes up here, and the plates go there. And
who'd
you
have
kind
thought
of
the
move them fast
dishwasher
before
got
your
Ben
hand,
going?
like gets
I'm with you,
burnt
Ben.
off. I
I've
like
done this
that.
before.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, as a kid, I used to do that where I would try to see if I can unload the dishwasher before the dishes got cold. And so,
Wow.
My parents ended up playing a trick on me, because then they got me doing all the dish putting back.
Yeah, see if you can do it, buddy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do that to my kids all the time. Can you take that garbage out, big guy? Come on.
It was also like when my dad was like, "Give me a soda, give me a beer." Yeah, now I look back and he just wanted me to go get it for
That's
him.
exactly right. That's why we have kids.
My least favorite chore is something new with my dog, but he is the most sheddy dog I have ever seen in my life. There's tumbleweeds of hair that
the
go through the
worst.
house.
That's disgusting.
And so every single day I have to vacuum brush him, because he has so much hair that you vacuum him and then you brush him and then you have this vacuum that sucks all the hair up. Each and every day
Nightmare.
I do this, and it is starting to make me go crazy.
See, I like the 7th inning stretch because we take a break from talking about shitty baseball teams and talk about shitty dogs.
Hey,
Nice.
Jetty.
who's on the board right now?
Nice.
Because
Adam is.
Adam just jumped out of his chair.
That's awesome.
That was actually
Braden, what about you?
incredible.
I'm like Woods. I can do doing the laundry, like washing
It's great.
and the drying, easy.
Piece of cake.
Once that happens, it's awful.
It's
The
back in the
folding, and then sometimes I'll make it to the folding stage. I'll just be folding everything, and then it's putting them away.
Yeah.
And it's too many. It's
awful.
too long of a process
awful.
to get through. And for some reason, I like to wait until all of my clothes are dirty, and it takes me like 4 days to do laundry because I have way too many clothes and I have to wear way too many things for all the jobs that I do. But then it turns into I don't have time to complete this task. It takes like an hour to wash, an hour to dry. Then I got to fold it and all that. It's not fun. So laundry definitely not great. I'm like Woods too on the dishwashing. I can get dialed in and get through the dishwashing.
Yeah. I love it.
quick. I mean,
Until you get
and-
one of those casserole pans where it's
Hey,
all
you know
stuck
what?
on.
Yeah,
and
no.
you
I'm making
can't
my
get
mission
the
to
melted
get that stuff
cheese
off.
and
No.
you're just like scrubbing as hard as you
Yeah.
can with
You
the
got to
sponge.
get
and
you got the scrub mommy, man. You got the little scraper. I got a nice faucet it can use, almost like the industrial one that I had when I was working at Starbucks cleaning dishes. I'm like Woods, man. You put the music on.
It's
You
great.
can get into a groove. That's the
If
easiest
I could make
task.
what I make here, that's a less stressful job. If I could make what I make here doing that, I would
Oh,
wash
yeah.
dishes every day. I really would.
Paulie, what about you?
Least favorite has to be picking up the dog doo-doo.
Oh, that's a good
Worst.
one.
I don't like
That
it.
is a really good one.
I always manage to it's like a gust of wind just kicks it up into your nostrils. You get one whiff, and I
You
start
have the rake,
yeah, we got the rake, the scooper, and
The rake gets all dirty.
and then the emptying of it.
It doesn't matter how fresh or not fresh it was. I get one whiff, and I'm like, ugh, you get that like gagging reflex.
bro.
I hate it.
That is a great one.
I'm not good at cooking. My wife's much better, so I have no problem like handing that one off. I like doing dishes and I like doing laundry, especially like laundry. Like my wife works in the office a couple of days a week, so on those days, like I can just like lay it out across kind of the bed or like spread out a little bit more. And like you said, you start it and then you're gone for like an hour and a half. And then you come back to it and then you change it over into the dry. Like it takes a little bit of time, but I don't mind it. I'll do the folding and all of that.
I have to ask if this is a chore or not. Is dealing with dead animals in your yard a chore?
Oh my
I guess
gosh.
so.
Like with rats or something like that? Because I cannot deal with dead
can't do that
rodents.
either.
I can't. It's just
I mean, they're better
too
dead
much.
than alive. I'll tell you that.
disgusting.
True, for
I
sure.
can't. Dealing with
I-
dead animals.
So
is not
one that
great.
I have that's secretly elite, and I got this from my dad, and I don't even think he needs to do it. He just does it because I think he enjoys it. Watering the plants with the hose.
Oh, okay.
And you just pull it out, and he looks like he's the most calm person. Just
Yeah,
one
It's kind of like
plant,
meditation.
one plant to the other as you're going out
Do you
there.
do
and just-
this?
I've done it. Yeah, I do that as well in the
I feel
backyard.
like that's
Just-
like a home ownership chore.
Are there
that
any
you feel
chores you
pride
don't
in.
do?
No,
Yeah.
I don't usually do the making the beds. I hate making the beds. I hate trying to figure out which way the fitted sheet goes.
Folding a fitted sheet.
And trying to, well, I can't fold. I have no idea. I just wad it up and
Yep.
stick it into a
Put a
cabinet.
ball.
And then we've got those like they only go one way. We've got that bed with the adjustable sides, so you
No.
have to get it the one way. And it's always at least by the third try I finally figure out which way the sheet goes. I hate doing the bed. Chris,
Oh, I
last one.
can't wait for this one.
I'm a professional dishwasher. I was actually paid to be a hasher at San Diego State for which means you go to a sorority house and you serve the food, and then after dinner you wash all the dishes, and in exchange for that you get free meals. You get to eat. So I was really
To hang out at a sorority house.
and hang out at the sorority. So
So
I was
terrible gig for you, Chris.
It wasn't.
As a
I
college
loved it.
athlete.
Absolutely loved it. And I was the dishwasher of that group. So I feel like a professional. On the flip side, I believe it is a chore anytime I'm asked to fix anything in the house. My wife usually has to ask at least 10 times before I'll even consider doing it. And it's not because she's bothering me. It's because I'm so bad at fixing anything.
So why does she continue to ask? You guys have been married a long time.
Well, she's not going to do it. So, I mean,
Taskmaster.
I love
an
Woods.
app. It's amazing.
Woods calls the
TaskRabbit.
Woods calls the handyman, but then he's in the awkward position
Yeah.
where the handyman wants to talk to you about it.
And I go talk to my wife.
yeah.
Where's your pump? I have no idea. What are you asking me for? My circuit board. What's a circuit board?
I mean, I honestly take a little bit of satisfaction once I screw in the light bulb and the light pops on.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like
I
I feel
can
like
do
I
that.
actually accomplished something there.
Yeah, I like doing that.
That's how bad I am at fixing.
How many
stuff.
Chrisellos does it take to screw in
Screw
a
the light bulb.
All right, let's wrap things up here. It's our 97.3 The Fan Padres Roundtable, presented commercial free by Roundtable Pizza. It really is pizza royalty.
Please, no predictions.
Not going to do it this
Please,
week.
No predictions.
Yeah, what do
Please.
you think the Padres are gonna do this
Padres
weekend
are
in
going to
Colorado?
go 0-6 this week. We all know it.
I'll
That's
take
fine.
0-6.
Any wins are just great.
The way we talked about them today, I don't think they can do any better than that.
Of course. So I'm going to look at some of the other teams. The Giants have all of a sudden got red hot. They've pulled within 4 games of the Mets and 5 games of the Padres for the last 2 playoff spots. But they have 7 games, I believe, coming up against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the next week and a half or so.
Rip.
How do we want those games to go? With the Giants kind of getting closer to the Padres, but the Padres also needing the Giants to help them out if they want to catch up with the Dodgers.
I think there's only one answer,
The
right?
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well,
That's
who's your
right.
enemy right now? Is it the Giants or is it the Dodgers?
It's the Dodgers.
You want them
Still
to
the
go
Dodgers.
0-7 against their real rival.
But if the Giants go 7-0 against the Dodgers, you have a real problem on your hands behind you.
not if
Padres
we, not if
won
we
the
beat the
tiebreaker.
Rockies.
Won the tiebreaker.
Let's say the
Got an extra
Padres
game
go.
on
Let's say the Giants go 7-0 against the Dodgers, and win their other 2 series. So
What
they're
thing
now
is this?
11-2 in their next 13 games. Padres play well and go 8-5, much better. All of a sudden, the Giants are just a couple games behind you, and you are all of a sudden in danger of missing the playoffs if they play that well, even though you may now be tied with the Dodgers atop the division. You've got a 3-team race on your hands.
Sounds like if you beat out the Dodgers won't be in the playoffs.
Possible. If they lose all 7 to the Giants,
That's what I'm saying.
they're certainly not immune to the same things we're talking about with the Padres.
Right there, then the game back behind LA and only a couple of games.
If the Padres are in danger 5 games up, then the Dodgers are in danger 7.5 games up.
My feeling about playing scoreboard, which is what you're asking us to do here. My feeling about playing scoreboard is when I'm winning, it's a lot of fun to look at the out-of-town scores.
It's so good.
Somebody's going to lose, and I'm going to pick up ground somewhere.
And if they're not, then you're like, well, we won anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. If I'm losing like they are right now, I can't even look at the scoreboard. I mean, I just got to – the only scoreboard I can look at right now is my own scoreboard. And I think that is going to be the focus of this team. And I think the fans, same thing, man. You got 7 of the next 10 against the Rockies. You got the Reds in the middle of that. Let's do a little better than 2-8 here, right? And get back on the beam, get some good starting pitching, which you've had all year. Time to everybody to go through the rotation once challenge. Ruben Niebla says, I need everybody to give me 1 6-inning game. Let's go. Let's do that, and then I'll work at the scoreboard at the end of that.
I don't know that anyone's getting back on the pitching beam in Coors Field. But if Jackson Merrill could get back on the beam at Coors Field,
That'd be sweet.
get a little confidence, I think that would be the biggest thing that could happen this weekend for the San Diego Padres.
I will say that Stephen Kolek pitched a shutout at Coors
He did.
Field.
He did.
But he's no longer on the team.
My God.
It's funny how baseball storylines
Yeah, it's
come
funny.
around.
Didn't
Like
he have
that.
21 runs?
Funny is a good
run
word.
support. I mean, it's
Shutout nonetheless.
run support.
I was doing a fantasy football draft with all my Giants friends last night. They all live in the Bay Area, and they're basically angry that the Giants have been winning because it kept Bob Melvin his job next year.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, they're upset right now.
they are upset, and we were talking about it. They're like, the Giants don't have the staying power to keep winning throughout the rest of this month. They just don't have the roster for it. So I want the Giants to beat the Dodgers and then be the Giants that we've seen for most of the season down the stretch.
It's good news. If they win, then they keep Bob Melvin. I think it's good news for the Padres.
Well, I mean, you think it's good news, but I mean, people who like to come up with the nightmare scenarios of missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
The biggest nightmare, of course, would be Bob Melvin in the second half, charging so hard that on the last day of the season, he catches the San Diego Padres.
Well, second half
And knocks-
Melvin, as they always say.
That's right. That's right.
That would be, I think, if you're looking for your
Sleepy
nightmare
shills.
fodder.
Especially since they,
Second half Melvin.
Melvin.
they cashed in
Wow.
their season by trading people, the Giants did.
But cashed in their season, the
Sleepy
Padres
Mike.
went for it, and somehow
Right.
that could still
Second
happen. That's
half.
even on the
Come
table
on.
right now. It's almost beyond belief that is something you could even bring
Second
up.
I mean,
half
it's
Bob.
fun. It's fun. Look, you'd be a fool to say that you're not worried about him, but it is. This division was supposed to be a juggernaut. It was supposed to be a juggernaut. It does not look like a juggernaut right now.
It was for like
juggernaut.
2.5 months.
I know.
It was a juggernaut.
And then Arizona.
What is Fangraphs thing? It can't be more than 10% that the Padres have.
Four
for the Giants.
No,
Giants
I'm talking for the Padres because I don't think the Padres are going to win the division. So you might as well just eliminate the Giants and keep them off your backs.
Oh, the Giants had a 4% chance of making the playoffs as of this morning.
4. Wow.
I think the Padres
Wow.
are still at about 15 to win the division. Yeah. So definitely a better chance of moving up still than down.
Good news, if we miss the playoffs, Woodsy, you'll have much more time to wash dishes.
Yes.
Ben, you'll have plenty of time to water plants.
I'll watch.
And we'll all be happy heading into the football
And Chris
season.
Ello will look like Post Malone.
Yes.
That's right. As I
That's
took
right.
the bet.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, that's going to do it for us on this week's edition of the Roundtable Pizza Roundtable. Remember, it really is pizza royalty. We will be back next week. I believe in 2 weeks the Padres will have a day game, but we will be back next week for another hour of Padres talk. Please let it be a much better week than this last week. For Matt Scraby, Stephen Woods, Paul Rindle, Braden Soprenet, and Chris Ello, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Thursday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.